Yes, what's going on, legends? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another little stream for you in the afternoon. We are here to discuss the latest day's Manchester United news, and I'm also going to be roasting like a pig throughout because it's pretty much hottest day of the year, isn't it? And it's already 26.2 degrees, and I've only just turned the lights on and stuff. Nightmare. How are we all doing today, guys? Thank you very much for joining us. Do us a favour at the start of the stream, smash that like button on it, give us a massive like spike, it helps the channel out, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Get yourself subscribed. Click that bell icon. You know it makes sense. Welcome into everybody in the live chat, by the way. Kingslayer, Mark Coughlin, Aaron, Kieran, Danny, Brexiter, Rogerio, Elliot, Neil, Superfat Frank, Mark Coughlin, Wayne, and everybody else who's in here. Big ups to the legends in the chat. If you're on catch up later, you can get involved by commenting down below in the not live comment section and have your say about anything we discuss in this show. But big ups, nice one, Herinda, Prima, Bruce, Kazi, and everyone. Legends. Please do give us a repost if you want. You can share us around on X. There's the link right there. Give us a repost. We'll shout you out later on in the show. You know it makes sense. Right, we're going to get into the show then. Big ups, Neil, as well. Everybody in the chat. Yes, smash the likes. Thanks, Neil, and everybody else. Get in there. Right, so obviously reasonably slow news day for Manchester United. There's no big sort of like headlines breaking news. I was thinking about coming on at lunchtime and discussing it, just sort of waiting to see if there was anything else that came out. There's a little couple of things that's come out, but it's not really, you know, too much movement in regards to the likes of Mbuemo or Gyokeres or anything like that, really. But there is movement and there is new reports in regards to players out, which is still very important for Manchester United to try and move some of these absolute melt bags out of this football club. So we'll get on with that at the start of the show, and that is the big story, I suppose, that's been coming out the last 24 hours or so, is that Napoli are potentially trying to sign Jadon Sancho. This is via Gianluca Di Marzio, and he reports that Napoli are making an attempt to sign Jadon Sancho. Fabrizio earlier on this morning reported that United will give priority to selling Jadon Sancho on permanent deal before opening doors to loans. Napoli are among clubs keen but not intention to pay his current salary. Early stages and more clubs in the race. Okay, so that is, I think, going to be an issue with anybody who's taken Jadon Sancho, is just the wages, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, if Man United can be prepared to just give him away for a nominal fee, like a cheeky 5 to 10 million quid, or maybe even nothing, and just get him off of our books, and he goes over there and they pay him 300k a week on a couple of year contract, maybe that suits everyone. They don't have to pay a big upfront fee to get him in. I don't think we do want a loan move. What's the point in that? They're not going to pay all of his wages. I just think, I mean, a loan's better than nothing if they can pay X amount of his wages. It's better than nothing, but it'd be much better to transfer him. And that's what Fab's basically said here. We're giving priority to Sancho in terms of getting rid of a permanent transfer, not a loan move, a permanent transfer, which is obviously what we need to do to try and get this melt off of our books. Napoli are among the clubs keen. There's also a bunch of other clubs that are interested. So we've heard yesterday reports from various outlets that says that Napoli, AC Milan, Aston Villa have all recently contacted Jadon Sancho's camp. United are desperate to sell the attacker, keen on funding a squad rebuild. So I don't think we're going to get very much money for Jadon Sancho, but I reckon 5 to 10 million pounds, considering his wages. That's the big put or offer for Jadon, is just the amount of wages. Thank you, Abdullah Irwan. Appreciate that. It says big up the channel, smash the like. Thank you, Abdullah. Sully Griffin, what's going on, you absolute legend? Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He says, hey, big thoughts on the schedule release. Yeah, I'm going to get into that, Sully. I'm going to get into that raw, lad. Trust me. But I'm just going to get on to talk about the Sancho guff. But I have got that to discuss also, lad. We'll get onto that, my son. I'll keep you waiting on that one, Sully, lad. But thank you so much for getting in there raw with a super chat, you beast. Right. So Napoli trying to sell Sancho. I mean, Napoli trying to maybe get an attempt to sign Sancho. Man United want to sell him. The wages are probably an issue. Fabrizio also says that basically Jadon remains on Napoli list, but it's not at the current salary/fee conditions. Let me ask the live chat: how much do you think we can realistically sell Jadon Sancho to Napoli for? Let's say that they are interested in him and they do want to put in an offer. How much do you think we can actually sell Jadon Sancho for? Have your say there, guys, in the live chat. I think we would struggle to get more than £10 million. I know he's a reasonable name. I know he's only 25, 26, whatever he is. He's obviously still got bags of games left in him. You know, he's basically just been cruising on cruise control. He's not got very many sort of like city miles on him. It's mostly all highway miles, just cruising, you know, with Jadon Sancho so far. So he's probably got a lot of time left in his career. He's still, I guess you could argue, developing. Doesn't seem to have a great attitude. But bear in mind, he did cost us 73 mil. Bear in mind, he's now been developed a couple of seasons, if you want to even call it that. He shouldn't be nothing. But this is the problem with Manchester United's ridiculous wage structures over the years and giving players like Jadon Sancho 300k a week. It makes it nigh on impossible to sell them out. So there you go, 18 million euros. I mean, that would be great. I would be absolutely foaming, frothing if we could get him gone for that amount of money. That's an amazing amount of money to get back for Jadon Sancho, considering how fundamentally gash he is and how much big wages he's on. Chelsea could have made it permanent for 25 mil. They said, no thanks, mate. No thanks, Jadon, because you want too much money, you greedy bastard. That's basically what's going on there. 15 million, 25. I just can't see. I can't see anybody be prepared to pay that for him. If we could sell him for 25 million, it would be a sale of the century for us, honestly, with how gash he is in his wages. It will cost us money, maybe so, could do if we have to pay a percentage of wages. But hopefully this is where it's going to be factored in. You know, if he was on 150k a week, maybe you could get 25 million for him. You know, maybe you could get 28 million for him. But because he's on £300,000 a week and he's still got a year left on his contract, at least at United, that means that he's not desperate to go anywhere. You're going to have to give him pretty big wages to take him, or at least have the rest compensated by Manchester United, which we don't want to do. So you kind of have to factor that into the initial transfer fee. That's why I'm saying I don't think it's going to be 28 mil, 25 mil. I think it's more realistically 10 mil or even less than that. Because who wants him? Who wants to pay that amount of money to him? It's a gamble. Now, if you're paying 25 million for a player and they're on 150k a week, that's X amount over X amount of years. But if you're paying, you know, nothing for the guy, but he's on 300k a week, you know, it may work out similar sort of amount there, guys, really. So it's not too much of a risk, too much of a gamble for them if you're basically giving him away. And that's kind of what we need to do with Sancho these days, is just give him away. He's a charity shop jobby, you know. You're clearing out your stuff at home. Your junk at home. You're clearing out your junk at home. Amorim spring cleaning and clearing out his junk at home. He gets a box of stuff together, some to sell, some to put on eBay, you know, some to put on Gumtree, some to maybe take down the local car boot sale, and then he's got the pile there, which is stuff that's just damaged, stuff that's just gash and old and broken and rubbish and proven guff. And he's got that extra pile there, and that's just a charity shop jobby at best, if not bin it. You know what I mean? That's the reality here with Jadon Sancho. It's not a situation where you can get a lot of money for him. You know, it'd be kind of like, I don't know, putting a used tea bag on eBay for 50p or something. Like, is anybody really going to give you that anything for it? Or is that one for the bin? So anyway, just saying, in regards to Sancho, he's a tough sell. He's a tough sell. Maybe he would be interested in taking a pay cut. What do you think, guys? Yes or no? Would Jadon Sancho go and take a pay cut somewhere? So there is reports from various outlets. This is from Sky Sports Shama Sheth, who says Jadon Sancho will need to take a pay cut in order to complete a move to Napoli. The Italian club will formally approach Manchester United if they believe a move is realistic, and they're in touch with Sancho's representatives over personal terms. However, it's understood they cannot pay what he's on at United and would require him to reduce his salary. United prefer to sell him permanently than loan him out again, and it's thought their valuation is around £25 million. £25 million. £25 million when he's on that sort of amount of money. The only way that we could get that sort of money for him is if indeed, yes, he did take a significant pay cut and we don't pay the remainder. And he's not going to do that, guys. He's not going to do that, guys, at all. I think he's quite happy to just get his 300k a week. I don't really see him knocking on Amorim's door begging for a move so he can play. So I don't think that's going to happen anyway. But I could be wrong. Maybe he's itching to play elsewhere and he's prepared to take a pay cut. But if that was the case, you would have thought he'd have probably made that permanent move to Chelsea. They had the option for 25 million. They had obviously made him an offer, but his personal terms are what scuppered the deal. He's asking for too much money. He wasn't prepared to play for less over at Chelsea, and we obviously weren't prepared to let him play for a rival in the league and pay him X amount of his contract for the remainder. That would be foolish as well. So it was his decision not to go to Chelsea for less money, basically. It fell down on the terms of his wages. So that's the sort of guy we're dealing with here. if it was me, you know, maybe you would be prepared to play a bit, to have a little bit less in terms of salary, to go and play regularly at Chelsea, and maybe have a chance of getting into that England team for next summer's World Cup. But obviously you don't give a shit about that, it seems. So from that perspective, Jadon Sancho is going to be a tough sale. He wants big money, 300k a week is what he's on at United. He's going to want similar, at the very least, almost exactly the same, probably more knowing him, to go and play for Napoli or whoever. And so it's quite unrealistic still, but if the transfer fee up front is small, i.e., as I say, less than 10 million, whatever, then they might just go for it because it doesn't represent a huge risk when you consider how much players are costing these days. But if it was me and I was Napoli and I was looking at potential players to bring in, I wouldn't be bringing Jadon Sancho in, to be fair, because I think he could maybe be a negative influence in the dressing room or cause some waves or whatever the case may be. So he wouldn't be somebody that's high up on my list. But apparently clubs are interested in him, maybe just in loan move bases, because let's be real, nobody wants to buy the guy. It would be better for us if we can't sell him, which is our priority at the moment. But if we can't sell him, of course, it'd be way better for us to loan him out, get him off of our books, even if we have to pay 150 grand a week to have him go and play over in Italy or Germany or wherever. As long as it's out of the Premier League and it's not going to benefit another Premier League side and we're paying them to play for another Premier League side, as long as it's not that and he's out off of our books on loan and we're paying X amount of his wages, it's better than having to pay 100% of his wages. That's not what we want to do, though. That would be pretty piss poor. We want to try and sell him. By the way, guys, if you're just getting in the stream, do us a favour and smash that like button. Help us get to 100 likes. We're nearly there. Also, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're new to the channel. Have your say. Get involved. We're on here daily with these latest United news streams and stuff. We're going to be back on here tonight around 10ish with any evening news. And if there's anything breaking in between, we'll get on it then as well. No way, says Mark. Get in there, Morgan. How you doing? Has a contract with United, rejected Chelsea. That's it, because they weren't prepared to pay the wages that he wanted, you know. And obviously United were not prepared to pay the remainder to have him play for them. Nowhere we'll have to pay him off. Yeah, absolutely unlikely. Sancho would not take a pay cut. Sancho won't take a pay cut anywhere. Interesting sometimes. Well, this is what I want to get into now, okay? So this is, I want to get into this. Obviously, this is just pure, sheer speculation here. This is sheer speculatione. But it's interesting speculation. So what about Viktor Osimhen? And it doesn't even necessarily have to be Sancho going the other direction. I'm talking about a potential swap deal here, guys, where you pay cash plus a player for the likes of Osimhen. It benefits Napoli, maybe, who have a player who's like want away, obviously, and has a price tag of, I think, where is it, 75 million? He's valued at by them. That's sort of what they want for him. He's on big money. He wants big money. He wants 350k a week. Well, let's be real. If Man United could cough up a bit of cash plus a player such as Garnacho or Sancho even, and then just pay the rest in cash and get that guy in, it's probably going to benefit Manchester United quite massively, isn't it, to have a quality striker like that in there? Yes, he's on big money, but it's not that much more money than Sancho potentially. It's like you're almost doing a straight trade there to get, in terms of wages, obviously. Osimhen maybe 350k a week, but Sancho 300k a week. It's almost like you're doing some sort of a straight swap wages-wise there, so you don't feel the hit of it so much as adding a new player to the squad. Then you obviously have to factor in the salary, the transfer fee. The transfer fee for Jadon's not going to be very much, but in a swap deal, maybe you could actually leverage a little bit more than, say, 5-10 million that we've been discussing in this video. In a swap deal, possibly you could just get an extra 20 million off the fee for Osimhen or something. So even though that is very airy-fairy and pure speculation, I think we should try it. If we had any bottle about us, we could try it, couldn't we? Get the deal done for Osimhen in there, Sancho or Garnacho or both going in the opposite direction, and try and get him before Galatasaray or someone else in Saudi gets him. You know, it's actually quite a possibility if we tried. It's a big if. It doesn't seem like Osimhen's like too high up on Amra's list right now, which I find a little bit difficult because he is should be in the top few candidates of who we could go and get in terms of big name players with great records who could probably come in with the experience needed to do the job right now. So he would be a very good option, but he is expensive in every way, transfer fee, wages, expensive in every way. But so's Jadon Sancho. And Jadon Sancho off your books would basically pay for Osimhen's wages more or less. Smash a 1 in the chat if you'd be up for that, guys. Smash a 1 in the chat if you think that they could do something like that. David, I don't think so, no. But they could do if the transfer fee is not very much up front. So what's the difference of buying a player for £25 million and then paying him 150 grand a week? What's the difference if you are going to just pay $5 million up front for him and then pay him 300k a week over a couple of year contract? It's not that much difference, is there? So I would personally think they probably would be open to taking him on, even with those sorts of wages. They do pay some players big wages. Look at Osimhen, etc. They do pay some players big wages. But obviously, from their point of view, if the transfer fee initially is not too much, then it could be a possibility, I suppose. Anthony and Sancho for Osimhen. Yeah, the dead one really needs to go. We need a clean slate. Get the deal done now. Yep, ciao, Sancho. There you go. So it's a little bit of a reach at the moment, guys, from me there, to be fair, about the Osimhen thing. But I personally think it could happen. And especially if the Gyokeres deal doesn't materialise and maybe he does end up going to Arsenal, then perhaps that's who we go for. Maybe we do go for Osimhen. Maybe we sort of to try and get him. Maybe we kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get Osimhen at the same time as maybe getting Sancho or Garnacho or something like that off of our books. Or even Rashford, like you said, Howard. See, that's interesting, isn't it? I don't know why a team like Napoli, if they're supposedly interested in Sancho, I don't know why they wouldn't be interested in Rashford. Rashford's a better option in a lot of ways. Sancho is the cheaper option, that's true. Because for Rashford, you have to pay 350k a week or somewhere in that region to him, and then also have to cough up at least 40 million quid in terms of transfer fee. So I suppose that's why they're interested in Sancho, because he's a much cheaper deal overall. Yes, the wages are high, but his initial fee is going to be pretty much peanuts because he's so unsaleable and gash. So I actually think the Sancho move does have some legs. It's possible. I still believe that he's going to be asking for too much money and the deal's probably going to fall down, and best we can hope to do is loan him. But you just never know. Osimhen coming in the opposite direction would be a bit of a masterstroke from us if we could do something like that. Like 50 million, 55 million for Osimhen plus Sancho, or 25 million for Osimhen plus Garnacho. Something along those lines would kind of be a bit of a masterstroke for Manchester United, considering the issues we have with finances at the moment. So trying to get some players off of the books and going in the opposite direction would be quite a good thing for us to try and do. Yep, there you go. Crazy to sign Sancho. Any chance Napoli would want Onana? 3 birds with 1 stone? I don't believe so, mate. No. I don't believe so. I think there's some Sunday League teams out there think twice about taking Andre Onana on there, to be honest. And we smashed 100 likes, guys. Too. Thank you, everyone who's hit the like button there. It does help the channel out. Keep doing so. Keep subscribing, getting your thoughts in there. We'll have a Q&A at the end as well. We've got some more news to discuss also. No worries, Ezio, lad. Well, it's getting closer by the minute, Ezio, but how much closer is anyone's guess? There's not too much going on in terms of Mbuemo. We'll cover that a bit later on, though. We could pay him a normal wage, but give him a sign-on bonus, as it may not be upsetting the apple cart. Plus, if he doesn't work out, we can move him on. Yeah, there you go. Conte could be our saviour, buying our dead wood. That'd be amazing, lad. Swap deal is needed. I mean, to be fair, obviously McTominay wasn't dead wood. He was very good for us in that final season and stuff, and obviously great for Scotland. But still, though, you look at some players that have gone over there, he's done bits out there. So they might just be looking at a couple of players from United that are sort of out of sorts and think, yeah, these guys can come in and do a good job for us. Oh, mate, it's absolutely obscene. What's the temperature now? It's just rising by the minute. It's now 27.1 degrees in this garage right here, guys. It's obscene. It is a sauna, lad, at the moment. Yeah, Gyokeres would be right at home, mate, in here. You know what I'm saying? What? That sounded a bit sus. Garnacho will help our I mean, because they love a sauna in Sweden. Swapping him will not go into the sales list. There you go, fair enough. Well, okay, yeah, but Sancho, okay, Garnacho obviously is a big amount of money there, isn't it? But it's also, you say it won't go into the sales list, but it will go into it will take a big chunk out of the purchase amount. You have to remember that. You've got to factor that in. It's still money just that you're not spending on a player. So let's face it, if he was 25 million plus Garnacho for Osimhen, you know, obviously they'll do that deal, wouldn't they? Because they could still, rather than receiving cash, they've got cash outgoing, but they've not got that much cash outgoing, lad. Yep. Currently driving, mate. Keep your eyes on the road, lad. Hoping for some good news today or tomorrow. Me too. Hopefully, you know, tonight we might have some info. But, yeah, obviously nothing in terms of a here we go or a bomber from Ornstein or anything like that just yet. You never know. Maybe during this show. Yeah, there you go, Elliot. AC Man looking at players as well. Absolutely. Okay, let me just get into the some of the other stuff that we've got in the on the show here. Then I will be getting into a Q&A and stuff again. But let's just carry on with some of the news that we've got. So, obviously, yep, Sancho is going to be wanted by a few clubs. It just maybe could be down to wages that makes it an issue. Marco Alcaraz tweeted out a couple of hours ago that Ruben Amorim has informed the Man United board that he does not want Rashford, Sancho, Antony or Garnacho included in the squad for the pre-season tour, making it clear he sees no place for them in his plans and is urging the club to speed up their sale process. So let's hope that United are trying to move these guys on at this moment in time. We've heard there's some, you know, maybe movement, maybe even Chelsea interested in Garnacho. I don't know, I wouldn't want to sell him to a Premier League rival at all, to be fair, but if there's any offers, or if there's no offers that are coming in from elsewhere, then what are you going to do if you've got a want-away player on your hands? So yes or no, guys, would you sell Garnacho to Chelsea? Get your thoughts in there. I say no, personally. I think that could be a mistake. I know they could give us some decent money for him, but I think you'd probably do bits there for Maresca. And I think it'd probably be a mistake for us. I'd rather get even a little bit less money, but see him go to play in Italy or Spain or somewhere like that. I wouldn't want him to see him go to play for Chelsea, because I do think he's actually got great qualities. And I am very sad about Garnacho potentially leaving this summer, because it's like one of those youngsters that we've brought through that could be really, really good in the future. And he's just sort of, you know, maybe not showed the greatest attitude over the last 12 months. And so he's fallen right out of favour. But he could still be an absolute baller for someone. No to Chelsea. Yeah, I don't think he's happy with him at all, Santos. Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that from? Oh, because of this list here. No, that just means those players. I mean, surely Højlund is still on the agenda for being sold. But at the moment, we haven't signed a striker. So he's not going to say, you know, we're not going to say get rid of those guys. Because what if we still need Rasmus to play a secondary or third role for us, you know, up top there in the striker position? We still might actually need him if we can't replace. We obviously should. But there you go. Matthew says, I will sell him to anyone that wants him. Get in there, Matty Farrell, lad. Appreciate that. I agree. Chelsea want him. Well, actually, I don't. Sorry. I actually don't. I agree to anybody that wants him outside of the Premier League, or at least outside of the top sort of teams in the Premier League. Let's go, Tom Porter. Yes, no to Chelsea. It would come back to bite your ass when you play. I agree, Vincent Bullock, sir. I agree with you. You'd keep him, you rate him, he's director and runs the play. I like him too, Michael. I really do. I really rate him. The only concerns I have is I don't think he's really perfect for Amorim's system, because he's not a proper number 10. He's a better winger. He's probably better playing left winger, like a 4-3-3, somewhere along those lines. I don't really like him as a number 10 as much as I did the season before last, when he was playing more of a winger vibe in a sort of 4-2-3-1. He was good on the wide areas, running at players and stuff, but I don't really like him as much as the number 10. And obviously, if Amorim's trying to play this certain system, that's a problem, isn't it? That is a problem as well. Garnacho for Cole Palmer swap deal. Oh, if he would want to come, we'd definitely take him in a heartbeat, wouldn't we? Yes, mate. It'd be like signing the neighbour from that movie, The Burbs. You know what I mean? He has speed, so that might save him a bit. Yeah, thank you, Jamie Riley. Get in there, Jamie, lad. Sell Garnacho, says Sharon. Yeah, well, we certainly were trying to move him on, but obviously if there's only one offer on the table and it's from Chelsea, maybe they would do that. But listen to this. 90 million for Garnacho if them fuckers charge 60 for Mason. Great shout there, Corn Roast. I feel like a pig roast today right now in this. It's just going up every single bloody minute, guys. 27.4 now in here. I'm going to be a roast suckling pig by the end of this one, guys, I tell you. Crikey. Anyway, so, yeah, Amorim wants to clear out. These players are obviously high on the agenda. Højlund as well, I'm sure, if we can't get another striker, which I'm sure we will. And it's the same with the goalkeeper situation. Like, people keep saying, we're keeping Onana. What's the matter with Ruben keeping Onana? We don't know that yet. As of right now, there's been no movement with Andre Onana, with offers coming in, or us trying to sell him, or us trying to buy anybody else. But as I think what it is just the amount of money that we are spending on the likes of Mbuemo and Cunha makes it difficult for us to acquire new players until we've sold players. So I think we're waiting to do that, trying to get some players moved on, and then maybe we can sort of start looking at getting a new goalkeeper in and getting a new striker in. This is what Marco Alcaraz reported that just before the stream, that United will only look to pursue a new goalkeeper if either Andre Onana or Alte Bayender departs the club. And that makes perfect sense, because we've got 3 goalkeepers at the moment in the team, Heaton, Bayender, Onana, none of which are any really good enough to be the number one, but certainly the most proven guff one, and he happens to be the one on the most money who should be the best, is Andre Onana. And Andre Onana out of the club makes perfect sense for everybody involved. We've tried for 2 seasons. He was guff for 2 seasons. It hasn't got any better. He cost a lot of money. He was a waste of time. We should have kept De Gea, and we've learned our lesson and moved him on. We've done the same over the years with Roy Carroll and Bosnich and even Tim Howard, who wasn't half bad, but, you know, it wasn't good enough. You have to be ruthless. You have to get somebody who is good enough. Tim Howard, great keeper, not world class, not an Edwin van der Sar type legend, not a David De Gea level. You know, that's the reality. You have to look for somebody who is going to be that top level, not stick with somebody who's bang average. So if we do stick with him through for the next season, obviously, yes, Amorim wants his head testing, and the board and the owners and everybody are so unambitious. They're a bunch of absolute rotten melts, if that happens. But I don't think that's happening, guys. I think we're going to sign a new goalkeeper later on the window. We're just working on Mbuemo, trying to get, obviously, that deal done, and Cunha's already done. And then maybe try and sell a couple of players, which it seems like we're going to be starting to work on soon. And then we can maybe look at bringing in a new goalkeeper. So, yes or no, guys, do Man United sign a new number one this summer? What do you think? What's your gut feeling saying? What's it saying deep down in your loins there? My piggy loins? They're fizzing. And they're suggesting that we will sign a new goalkeeper this summer, because it would be crazy not to. And I think we'll try and sell Onana. We might not be able to sell Onana. We might have to loan him out to the Dog and Duck, or, you know, just stick with him and have him as the number 2 goalkeeper. But still, we should certainly try and get a new goalie. So even though nothing's happened there yet, and there's no movements in terms of us bidding for a goalie or selling Onana, I still expect him to be sold, or at least attempts to be made to be sold. And then also expect us to try and attempt to sign a new goalkeeper as well. Kieran says yes. Ramsdale's good. I would want somebody, again, a bit better personally. Martinez would be out first games right for his red. That's interesting, Samakonda. Yes, we got a red in the last game. Does it carry over? I mean, Endorse is not going to happen. Collins says yes, no, yes, defo, no. There you go. They have to. I'm sick of Onana hurting my eyes. Who in their right mind would get rid of De Gea? Yeah, only a Dutch Kojak individual, lad. Imagine both Amorim and Arteta sacked. Why would we imagine that, Red Skull? Hopefully, says Elliot. We need to sign a good keeper. Steven says no. Get in there, Steven, you legend. Yeah, they should look into a tall with a high penalty stop ratio goalkeeper. Fair enough. Well, that would be the Martinez type, wouldn't it? It's obviously very good when it comes to penalties. I mean, Martinez can be a good option. Yep, Villa looking to maybe have to balance their books a little bit this summer. Could be open to selling some players. Martinez fits the bill, doesn't he? So, could well be moving on. Good to see Amorim has finally made his intentions clear. Don't mind losing money, because the boost of morale will be priceless. The 4 need to go. Yeah, those 4 need to go, and ideally a couple of others as well. Mdor says it won't happen, Biggie, but they have to. Onana should work in any remaining power plants the UK has, because his hands are useless. Well, we wouldn't want him working in a power plant then, would we? Do you know what I mean? He'd cause a meltdown, man. You know what I'm saying? Homer J. Simpson vibes. You know what I'm saying now? Sector 7G. You know what I'm saying? We should use our third goalkeeper, give him a chance. Give Vitek a chance, says Danny. We could sign Chevalier, but he's expensive. Yeah, fair enough. I would like somebody with Prem proven experience, a bit older, you know, a bit older, a bit more. Basically, Martinez makes a lot of sense. I also like Diogo Costa as well, but, you know, again, he's not coming from the Prem, but he's got some experience. And, you know, very good keeper. So he would be an option. Plus, you know, potential, you just never know. It could happen, Portuguese friend and all that sort of stuff. Okay, let's get on to what you said, Sully. You just reminded me. Sully, lad. Thank you. Sorry, I just was in the middle of my Napoli spiel at the start of the stream there, but thank you so much for the super chat there. Let's go back to what you said. You said, have you seen the schedule, United's fixtures and stuff? I have seen it. It's a bit of a tough start for Man United, isn't it, for the campaign? Let's get that up on the screen. I'm sure you've seen it, but if you've missed it. Man United's first 5 Premier League fixtures of the 25-26 season are Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Burnley at home, City away, and Chelsea at home. That's a tough 5 games. It's good that we've got, Burnley in there. But Fulham away is a tough game. That's a tough game. I'd expect us to go and get something in that game. That's a tough game. Arsenal at home. Well, you never know. You just never know. Arsenal are beatable. We've done it. But still, you'd have to favour probably an Arsenal victory in that one. It all depends on what we do this summer and how our pre-season looks as well, with how confident we are going into these fixtures. But at the moment, it's a bit concerning. The Manchester City game away, tough game, obviously. And then Chelsea at home. These are very, very tough games, guys. Very tough games. All of these games are tough. But obviously things can change here with who we sign and the pre-season. But I'll just ask the live chat, how many points do you see us getting out of these first potential 5 games? Out of a potential 15 points, we can get, how many points do you reckon, guys, from these? I'm going to be somewhat optimistic and say 7. Right, 7. I think 7 points is actually not bad considering the teams. You'd like to think that we could get a point from one of those, a couple of those games against the likes of Chelsea or Arsenal or City. You'd like to think we could get some draws or, at least some points there. We might cause an upset, might get a win. You'd like to think that we'd batter Burnley at home and get 3 points there, definitely. And you'd also like to think that we could beat Fulham, even though Fulham are a good team under Marco Silva and they're no mugs, and they are a decent sort of mid-table established side. And they probably will fancy it against us, and we're away. So for that reason, that's also a tough game to predict. But I think we could win 2 of those and get a draw and probably lose 2. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Get your thoughts in there. 3 points, says Timothy. Mephisto says 3. Kieran says 3. Has Timo turned Gyokeres' head yet? Not yet, mate. They had a bit of a falling out. Red Skull says 1. That's harsh, lad. Hey, Tactical Devils, get in there, you legend. He says 12 points. Get in there, Jarvis. Optimistic, lad. Could you just imagine if United had that start to the season with those fixtures, though? I mean, we would certainly be thinking about the positive days coming back. If we could get 12 out of 15 from those fixtures, we'd be like, we're challenging this season. We would. It's all about having a good start and building that momentum, guys. Then you can start to believe and you can start to get that confidence in your squad and your team and everything. If you remember Fergie's teams back in the day, it was like they get better as the season went on. In fact, we didn't usually start cooking until later on in the season, really, So for Man United, if we started really well and built a bit of momentum and confidence, who knows what we could do? So that would be truly a sensational start to the season. I'll be buzzing my memories off if we could do that. Griffin says 6 at most, probably less. Northside says 4. Switch says 6. Chris says 4. Midnight says 5. Primus says 4. Red Skull's optimistic as well. 11. Get in there, lad. Elliot says 6 points. Yeah. It's quite hard to get 11 points, isn't it? You have to win 3, draw 2. So that is very, very, 15, no excuses. 10 points. It's a bit of a stinker, though, of a start to the campaign, isn't it, guys? Not ideal. I mean, for Amorim, I know you've got to play all of these teams anyway at any time, but for Amorim, he probably would have liked the easiest start possible. He would have liked some of the lower down teams to begin with. Obviously, we've got Burnley there. But other than that, it's tough. It's a tough ask to navigate those games and get the majority points out of those 15 points, It was definitely the right time to let De Gea go. Do not forget he cost us in the last 2 finals he played. Jamie Riley, lad! Remember when I said I was sending you a T-shirt, lad, for winning that competition for that giveaway, yeah? It's taken back, lad. I'm not sending it, How dare you fucking say that about my goalkeeper, lad? I'm joking, Jamie. It's on the way. It's on the way. But you know what, Jamie? Awful take from you there, Jamie. Awful take from you, Jamie, lad. David De Gea was fucking awesome, lad. He let us down in a couple of games. Oh, Andre Onana's made as many mistakes in about a week as De Gea did in his whole fucking time at the football club, lad. Lest ye forget. David De Gea was an absolute unbelievable shot stopper, unbelievable match winner for us. Dudes, saving goals is as good as scoring goals, especially when it shouldn't even be possible to save those goals. And De Gea was literally the player in our history that has the most Sir Matt Busby Award for the Best Player of the Year award. That's not for no reason. That's because he was the best player for us for like 5 years out of the 10 or 11 that he was here, lad. Oh, I won't take any slander on David De Gea there, Jamie. I can't have that, mate. I can't have that. Anyway, come on. If we still had David De Gea, we would have been finishing many places up this last season just gone, because he was a match winner. He was somebody that could literally make 10 amazing saves during a game and stop the opposition from scoring even though they've battered you. He was that kind of guy. Yes, he did make the odd error here and there, but nowhere near the same level as Flubberhand Onana, my son. Come on. Minoda, what's going on? Says the goons are already lining up the phase 6 excuses. How you doing there, Minoda? I bet you're buzzing your tits off at the moment about this Liverpool news, eh? In regards to your transfer window so far, with the likes of Frimpong, Gyokeres, Wirtz coming in, potentially even Ekitike. Exactly. Gajendran says, as a Liverpool fan, I'll take De Gea any day of the week over 3 out of 4 of the EPL keepers. Same here. And he proved himself last season again for Fiorentina. What a great keeper he still is. Still putting in unbelievable match-winning performances. Having a big hand in why they did well. And, you know, he's definitely a great keeper. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we're having a hopeless keeper. We need a good defence. There you go. Why isn't anyone saying 0 points? He had to go regardless to Gea. We all said it at the time. I did not say it, Danny. I don't. You go back. Everyone knows. I might have slagged him off in one occasional game here, saying he's had a shit performance like that Europa League one where he made 2 gash errors. But I've never, ever said get rid of De Gea, because De Gea is one of my favourite players. He was always consistent for us, always a match winner. I've said get rid of many players over the years, but never David De Gea, mate. Never David De Gea. When we were talking about getting rid of him and signing Andre Onana or a new keeper, I was criticising that Dutch coach act something rotten. Erik ten Hag should have most certainly never, ever gotten rid of David De Gea. And it's been proven to be the case. And David De Gea had a contract offer on the table, and then they revoked it. That's the sort of shit house we were dealing with that Ten Hag belt. And we could have had him. That's how close we were to getting him. And in fact, the 50 million spent on Onana and the wages spent on Onana is a way bigger waste of money than just giving De Gea a big fat new contract. So we had a stinker there. Ten Hag set us back many years. Thank you, Resh. I appreciate you, lad. Yeah, Bruce never said De Gea out. I never said De Gea out either. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't, because we knew what a good keeper he was. Look, the goalkeeper, we were saying this when Ten Hag was talking about getting him. We were saying, of all the positions in the team to strengthen and get new players in and spend money on, the goalkeeper position is not the position. De Gea is a good, solid keeper. That's the last place you replace somebody who's actually good and solid and saves you games and points. No, what you need to do is replace the shittest players in the team. And so I don't really understand what was going on there. I believe he was on 300k, maybe even it was 350k a week there, Tactical Devils, right? So it's a lot of money. I think he was on 300k a week, wasn't he? Huge money for a goalkeeper, right? But he earned that money. He earned it by putting in literally season-defining performances for us out of some of those seasons where he was the best player in the team. He's won the award for Best Player of the Year multiple times. You know, he earned it. And also, like I say, when you get to that point in your career, like maybe he was asking for quite a lot of money, but what's the benefit of going to spend £50 million for Onana and then paying him, even if it's half the amount of wages that David De Gea is on, and then paying him that as well? That is not good economical sense. The best economical sense is just to give De Gea a few million signing on bonus for a new contract and pay him a few million a year for a 3-year deal. Take him up to when he's like 36 or something. That's what we should have done. And then we'd have had a great solid keeper for several years, and it would have cost us less than the Andre Onana deal. So even though he was on big money, it just doesn't make sense financially either way. Doesn't make sense in terms of quality of the goalkeeper to get Onana instead of De Gea, and it doesn't make sense financially to get Onana instead of De Gea. So it was just an absolute double penetration there from the Manchester United recruitment team and Ten Hag. They absolutely stitched us up. Yeah, exactly there, Shri. It says 300k per week times 52 times 3 is still less than the overall spend for Onana. So true. When you factor in Onana's wages and his initial transfer fee cost, signing on bonuses, agent fees, all that crap, you factor all of that in over 3 years, and the De Gea deal still makes a lot more sense. So De Gea should have just been given a new contract. Facts. Will Amarin still be in charge come August? Might get rinsed in pre-season. He's definitely going to still be in charge in August there, SCJF lad. I mean, you could argue maybe closer to Christmas time he might be feeling the pinch if he's not doing well. But I don't think he's getting sacked before the season starts, mate. Let's go, Luke CX. Come on, how you getting on there, my son? I hope you're good, mate. Yes. Onana needs to go. Absolutely no confidence for the defence. Respect. Okay, so a couple of other things I want to discuss very quickly. Obviously, still interest from Batiste there on Anthony. You know, nothing too much new on that one, but hopefully discussions taking place behind the scenes there. Maybe an offer coming in soon. Manchester United ticket prices have gone up. Look at this from Simon Stone from the BBC reporting this. It's pretty filth, isn't it? It's pretty filth. This is the Man United Supporters Trust responses. This really is a fresh kick in the teeth for Manchester United fans when the club said that they were introducing this new model for members' tickets. We urge them to keep the majority of matches at current levels and only apply the highest price category for a small number of the biggest games and reduce prices for lower demand games. Once again, they have failed to consult any of the fans' representative bodies on the details of the decision, and once again, they're making choices against the interest of the fans. We believe the club as a whole. What a bunch of shithouses, lad. Anyway, we sort of knew that was coming. Obviously, Sir Jim, basically alluded to the fact there. So, I mean, I don't know what percentage it's gone up or anything like that. It might not be that much, but it's gone up. And obviously that's not great at the moment, especially when the product is so poor. You have to prove yourself to have a good product first. They shouldn't just be trying to milk fans because we support the club massively and, and people will go and watch them even if they're shite. Where they should be giving value for money, and at the moment they shouldn't be doing anything like that. So it's pretty awful, really. Firewolf comments, we're going to win them all. Or Cunha and Mbuemo, hopefully another killer up top. Ruben knows we need killers, need a proper beast in midfield. Very true, Firewolf. So as good as, the likes of, who would you say, Mount, Garnacho, Diallo, all these guys who could, Xerxes, all these guys who could sort of play in the 10 role for us, as good as they are, they're not killers, like you say. Killers are people like Cunha and Mbuemo. Match winners. People who make shit happen. People who can score lots of goals from that position and create lots of goals. You're absolutely right. They're more experienced and they're just better, aren't they, right now? So they should really be able to do really good things for Amorim and change the fortunes of the front line. There you go. You was paying £45 per ticket last season, says Tom Porter. So how much is it now then? Hang on a sec. So it does depend, obviously, on the category of the tickets and stuff. But if you were paying that last season, let's have a little look, see what's going on here. So it depends on the category of the ticket, though, to be fair, doesn't it? So, yeah, kind of hard to work out what's going on there in terms of percentages increase. But, yeah. Okay, let's get on to this. To be fair, Pig, we all thought Onana would have been a Maradona of a goalie, taking on 5 players on a dribbling run. I don't think we thought that. Lad. But what I thought he was going to be is like somebody who could actually play out from the back reasonably well. Like an Alisson or an Ederson or that sort of type goalkeeper. That's what we were supposedly, hopefully going to get, was somebody who could play it out from the back reasonably well. Unfortunately, Onana hasn't really even shone in that area of things, in my opinion. He's not been good in the shot-stopping department. He's not been good in the commanding the area department. He's not been good in the organising his defence department. He's not been good in very many departments. But one of the departments we thought he would be good in would be the playing it out from the back department. And he's certainly not been good at that either. I don't get what that's all about. He's not even good at playing out from the back, if you ask me. So, yeah, he was just an ultimate flop. Tickets should be affordable. Oh, they've just been bending people over for years. Yeah, there you go. Mayor says the problem with our club is that we sell our best players. The only medium freedom fighter just shits. Is it true? Is it true or just a rumour that Luke Shaw's going to free Pentos FC? I hope it's true, but I think it's just a rumour, and I think I started that rumour, Bruce. I think definitely we should have done. Definitely we should have done, yes. De Gea, I mean, 375k, even for that, it's still a better deal than somebody like Onana, who is 50 million quid up front and not proven and ends up costing you for several seasons. I mean, it's not a case of should we have done that. It's a case we definitely should have done that. In hindsight, I know hindsight is a wonderful thing, but it's always cheaper to sign up a player who's already there, especially somebody who's been there for so long and been so good for you. And I don't see him declining at all, personally. I don't think he has declined at all. I've watched him this season a good few times. He's still an unbelievable shot stopper, ridiculous reflexes, probably the best shot stopper in the world still, if you're just talking about outright shot stopping, reactionary saves. So I don't think he's declined at all, even now. I mean, goalkeepers literally can go on to 40 years of age and still be good. And certainly some of the primes of goalkeepers in recent years, you could argue, is in their middle 30s. So I personally don't really agree that there's a decline of De Gea. I didn't see that. I just saw the decline of the team, but I didn't really see the decline of De Gea. I thought he was always fantastic for us. So apart from a couple of errors here and there, which all goalkeepers are going to make. So I think we definitely should have got De Gea signed up. I mean, it would have been crazy not to, in my opinion, but that's what Ten Hag did. But there you go. The Mustard, thank you for the 175 likes there. He says we've got 175 likes. Thank you so much for getting 175 likes. You legends. Help us get to 200 thumbs ups then, everybody. That's the next milestone there. Give us a little like spike. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're new and have your say in the live chat. Q&A coming. I'm just going to check the latest updates, see if there's anything new that's coming in here throughout the show from any of the journos in regards to Man United. Thank you to the 6 legends that have reposted us using the link at the top of the chat. Give us a repost and we will maybe give you a cheeky little we'll give you a cheeky little shout out in a little bit. But from my perspective, you know, we got done up with that whole De Gea situation, and I would have liked it if we just kept him. Yeah, and the best thing is going to kick the ball out for throws. Thank you, the Mustard. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Patrick Power. Hey, you never know. Yep, Romero, great keeper for us as well. Keepers can play till 40 to 45. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say 45, but, you know, you look at somebody like Gianluigi Buffon, who played till he's 40, or Edwin van der Sar, who played till he's like 41 or whatever, to a very good standard. The keepers, it's different. You know, as long as they still got the reflexes and the fitness and everything, it's different. So De Gea is arguably still just as good as he was when he was, 28. Because goalkeepers, they progress differently. In fact, I think the best period of a goalkeeper's career, for me, when I think of goalies over the years, the best time for a goalie is probably the ages of 30 to 36. That's where they've got the mix of experience, but they've still, and reading the game and everything, but they've still got that the reflexes and the speed and, and the athleticism. So I'd say between 30 and 36, that's the prime years for a goalkeeper, Keep, sell, loan, Mastermind TB, Fabian Barthez and Onana. I'm not playing that ridiculous game, Kagendran. Sell all of those melts immediately. Luke says, I can't think of a player who single-handedly sabotaged 2 European campaigns like Onana. Probably not tonight, Ezio. I'm going to be doing like 3 or 4 a week, usually around the weekend for champs. We did 3 this weekend, Griffin. We did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yes, I've gone off FIFA, to be honest, mate. I am still playing it, and I'm going to still do FIFA streams on my gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming. Subscribe if you're not. But ultimately, the actual. It's just I can't be asked, mate, to be honest. So I'm covering all the transfer news. I do late night streams. It's a whole thing. Sully Griffin, he says, local billionaire makes life more difficult for regular people. These team owners can get fucked. Yeah, good shout, lad. I know the ticket prices work because I'm a person who buys a ticket for every home game. Respect. There you go, Vincent. So how much is it going up for you then, would you say? If anything, let us know. Positioning matters more than reflexes, says Shri Harshva. Yeah, well, obviously it's all encompassing, isn't it? Obviously, like you say, it's about the readability of these players, like the way they read the game. So if you're positioned perfectly, more often than not, then yes, you're much more likely to be able to get across to make a save or whatever. That's so true. So you're absolutely right. And that comes with experience as well. Let's go, Gagendran. When was the last time a United keeper caught a cross from a corner? Oh, mate, they were so amazing. That's where Big Schmeichel and Van der Sar peaked. No, 30-35. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Buffon as well, I'd say. Casillas as well, I'd say. Most of these keepers, maybe not Petr Cech, because he was probably better before he got mashed in the head with that, with that horrible injury. And then pre-hat days, when was that? Like when he was 28 or something. Maybe he's an exception, but a lot of goalkeepers, in my opinion, are best between 30 and 35. Or even 36. You what then, the Mustard? In future? All right, okay, nice one. Yes, there is my link to the gaming channel. We haven't got any Red Dead streams on there, but I see what you're trying to do there. Nice one. Give us a subscribe at Flying Pig Gaming. Oh, dear. And no, to stay at United till he's 45, just to wind the pigster up. Good afternoon. Piggy's still the Don. Thank you so much, the Mustard. Yeah, you know it. Thank you so much. I don't know, Defender of the Bridge, mate. People like bullshit, don't they, end of the day, lad? Shit sells. Look at all the people who like Justin Bieber, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Piggy? Did I miss anything today? You missed some stuff. I'll do a little rundown in a minute. Rock of Bolton, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. He says, Hi Pig and Mrs. P, watching from a Welsh beach. Oh, lovely, mate. I want to get outside in the sunshine, actually, in a minute. Plus, it's absolutely roasting in here. It's nearly 28 degrees now. Oh, nearly 28 degrees. The humidity's going up. That'll be from my sweat filling the room. You know what I mean? Okay, so Thank you so much for that, Rock of Bolton. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much, everybody who's getting in here as well. I'm just going to go over and shout out all the legends who've reposted us on X. The link's at the top of the chat there. Big ups to the legends in the chat. And then I'm going to just read a few more comments out and get into a Q&A for a bit here. But we've had 10 reposts. Thank you so much to the reposters here. Big up to Aaron Homeyard, John Boy Cat, Kieran, Johnny M, John James Power, Aidan Vickery, Paul Nangle, Vincent Bullock, Ashley Vogt, and Francois Cocklad. Get the fuck in there, you legends. Thank you very much for the best community in all of YouTube, the Bacon Brigade. Absolute heroes. Right. Yeah, you know, sorry, I don't mean to be dissing, but I'm just saying, like, I mean his music. I don't mean him as a person. I mean his music. You know, like when Bieber was coming through, baby, 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 oh, like, you know, come on, that's horrible music. You know, it really is. But there was millions and millions and millions of people around the world who seemed to like it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. Oh, yeah, there you go. You got Royal Ascot going on. Definitely don't fancy going outside. Oh, fair play. Yes, it's rather toasty. Let's just hope for the best here, man. If we get good signings, good season, it could be a much better here. Thank you, Peanut. I appreciate that. It's because of my shining personality, really, Peanut lad, you know? Anyway, listen, guys, we're just going to do a rundown of what we've discussed very quickly. So, Napoli trying to sign Sancho. Apparently, there's an attempt to sign him. Fab says that United want to sell him as a priority rather than any loan move. Napoli are keen, but not really intention to pay the current salary. Early stages, more clubs in the race. Other clubs that are in the race could be perhaps AC Milan, Aston Villa, and others in Saudi as well. His salary is expected to be too much at the moment. Jadon Sancho remains on Napoli list, but not at the current salary fee/conditions, which is a bit of a concern because he is pretty much hard to sell. But because of that, you know, you might be able to get him off the books for a nominal fee, 5 or 10 million, and then maybe you could actually get him sold because then they would see the value in the deal. Like we've just said about De Gea and Onana. So De Gea's wages, it's still good value to sign De Gea up, seeing as he's already a United. If he was already a United player like he was, it's still better value to sign him up to a bigger money contract per week than it is to go and spend 50 million on Onana and get him on a much lesser money contract per week. It still doesn't add up any better, and the same goes for Sancho really going to Napoli. They might think, oh, 300k a week's ridiculous. But if they're not paying very much, or if anything up front, then it makes sense for them maybe to have a go at it. So I wouldn't rule it out. It's possible that could happen, but I still think it's quite hard to sell. Again, Sharma Chef reports that Sancho would need to take a pay cut in order to complete a move to Napoli. Reports from Marco Alcaraz that Allardyce informed United board that he does not want Rashford, Sancho, Antonio Garnacho included in the squad for the pre-season tour and wants them sold. Alcaraz also said that Manchester United will only look to pursue a new goalkeeper if either Andre Onana or Altay Bayanda departs the club. I think that's reasonably fair, but I'm pretty sure we'll be trying to sign a goalkeeper regardless and then looking to sell Onana once we've got this Mbuemo deal out of the way and maybe sold a couple of players and got some money back. First 5 fixtures for Man United after the season are there, and they are pretty hardcore. That's pretty much the latest news of the day. There isn't really any too much more. I mean, in regards to Mbuemo, the Mbuemo deal, again, is just expected to be progressing very slowly. It could be any moment that there's a here we go or a bomb drop there from Ornstein. It could be any moment, but it's still not agreed just yet, but they are expected to only be a couple of million apart, guys. So that's that. And we've just smashed 200 likes. Get in there, you legends. Right, let's get into the chat for a few minutes. Your guess is Chelsea taken for 5 million. Interesting. That's interesting, lad. Yeah. What's that? 32 for 50 for Premier League game through Supporters Club, but through Manchester United, 73.50 would pay. Oh, shit, the bet. United start the season with Arsenal home, Fulham away. Yep, I know. Tough, isn't it? How many points will United have? Oh, we've already gone over this, Gregory, during this stream, mate. We've already asked exactly that question, and I said 7. What do you think? Did we ever have a great African player? I think we should stay away from African players. We're not Chelsea or Liverpool. Yeah, we've had some good African players, mate. I'm just trying to think, but you know, I'm sure we have. Eric Bailly, it's not his problem. He was injury prone. Eric Bailly was from the Ivory Coast. He was very good defender. Unfortunately, he was injury prone as you like, but he actually was a very good player though, wasn't he? Ahmad Diallo, mate, from Ivory Coast as well. Ahmad Diallo, what a baller he is. Great player. So, no, I don't share that opinion at all. I think that's pretty much poppycock. There's some fantastic players coming out of Africa, lad, and always have been. I mean, think about the likes of Osimhen right now, what he could do for us up there, Nigeria, nightmare. He would be brilliant. It'd be absolutely brilliant for us, wouldn't he? So he could be anyway. He could be. But yeah, there you go. There's lots of other great players. So no, to answer your question. Osimhen is on 400k per week, tax-free, and refuses to take a pay cut. There you go, mate. I've heard 350k myself, Mark. So, you know, there's slight discrepancies being reported from various different reports. I've heard 350k. But still, yeah, he probably wouldn't want to take a pay cut. But imagine Sancho going in the opposite direction. That's 300k off of our books. And then he comes in for 350k. You're only spending more of a net spend of an extra 50k a week. So it's really not that bad to improve your striker position and get that Melcher off the books. Diallo, Ahmad, Jemba. When's the biggest game of the season Liverpool's the first fixture always look forward to? That's a good question. Let me just have another look at. So I know Man United released a full list of the fixtures on their Twitter, so let me just have a look. But the Liverpool game obviously is going to be one of the biggest ones of the year as well for us. That's so true. That is so true. Here it is. So we've got Liverpool away at Anfield on the 18th of October. And Liverpool away at Anfield on the 18th of October. And then we've got them again towards the end of the season at home at Old Trafford on the 2nd of May. So that's that one. 18th of October, lad. Schmeichel Jr., not the best, sure. I like him. I've always liked him, mate, to be fair. He's obviously not as good as his dad. I wouldn't have him now. A few years back, yes. But personally think, you know, I mean, how old is he now? I think he's getting on a bit, mate. I think he's a little bit over the hit too. I don't know. Let me have a look. I know I was just saying keepers no, he's 38. I mean, that's getting on a bit there, mate. We're all getting old, aren't we, when Peter Schmeichel's son is 38? Yeah, we're all getting a bit old there. No top club is in for Osimhen. You have to ask the question, why? Well, Galatasaray are, aren't they? Galatasaray are interested. I mean, I guess they're not as top a club as one of these European giants like, you know, the big ones, but they're still a big club. Not if you count 50% tax, you'd have to pay him 800k a week. You what? What, in terms of instead of going to Saudi? Right, well, yeah, but he's not in Saudi, is he? You don't think Paul will be good as they were last season? Hope not, but they have actually improved players. But I left because of you-know-who. Would have reposted on X, but I left it because of you-know-who. I don't know. I don't actually know there, Stefan. Are you talking about Elon? I don't actually know what you're on about there, Stefan, though. We've got a better record at Anfield versus Liverpool than our record versus them at Old Trafford of late. Nice one, PJ. Marvellous TV getting in there with the love. Thank you very much. I guess, well, they're a big club, but they're not a top club. But they are a big club, mate. A bit harsh. They're not a top club. Okay, well, they're not a Liverpool, a Man United, a Real Madrid, a Bayern. That's true. Everyone fully aware of his wage demands. That's the reality, yes. His wage demands are ridiculous. Which Victor would you take, Gyokeres, Osimhen, and bring back? Honestly, it would be Gyokeres. If we could get Gyokeres, I think he's not going to be crazy in terms of wages, probably 200 to 250k a week, and his strike rate in Europe is ridiculous, 54 and 52 for Sporting. But then again, you know, I think Osimhen got something like 26 and 30 for Gala. So he's obviously a baller as well. So they're obviously getting up there some great stats. But me, it would still be Gyokeres, yeah. Plus the Amorim experience, it helps. He went on for a good age, I think, Howard Garrix, yeah. Is the Gyokeres deal officially down the toilet now, Pig? No, it's not, no. I mean, Arsenal's still interested. Sesko is being negotiated with them at the moment. It seems they haven't tabled a bid yet for them, but they're having conversations about it. And once Sesko is either decided upon that they're going to sign for him, that's when Gyokeres will become available for Man United. His preference does seem to be going to a Champions League side. But if he can't get that move, if they sign Sesko instead, then he'd probably be open to joining Man United. So it's not dead. Also, there's concerns about how much money Sporting want, but it's certainly possible. Yeah, thank you, Ronster. Not too bad. I'm going to have to wrap it up soon, though, because I'm just getting too hot and bothered, mate. Look, it's just going up. It's 28.1 now, guys. I can't handle it. I'm cooking in here. I'm absolutely cooking in here, guys. It's just a garage. It's just like, it's just so hot and muggy in here, guys. I'm going to have to wrap it up. But anyway, great stream, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and chatting with me. That's the news. Story about resignations and Mourinho. You what there, Minoda? I haven't heard much about that. Who's your choice of keeper if we were to get rid of Onana? Realistically, it would be Martinez. In a dream world, it would be Donnarumma. Yeah, I am, Stephen. turning into crackling. I am. Nice one, Red Savina. But anyway, you can keep the debate going after this stream's finished. Come back after the stream's finished. Get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section afterwards and keep the debate going. Follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Pick up the mod squad like Cake Cadet and Tactical Devils. And who else? The Mustard and everybody who's been in here, all the mod squad. Shout out to the members such as Mark Redwood, Ezio, Jamie Riley, Minoda, Stephen Shipman, Mark Redwood, Gregory Burke, Jamie Riley, all the members of the channel. Thank you for being members. Get in there, you legends. And everybody else in here, yeah, we do need to get some sort of like better fan in here. I've got a little shitty desk fan, but it's Gash. Yeah, nice one, Rogerio. Nice one, Stefan, Ben, Shree, Bruce, Gregory, Jamie, Griffin, and everybody else as well. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, all those places. Go and check the description for the links and give us a follow. Also, check out the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming on YouTube. And I'll see you later on tonight around 10 p.m. for another cheeky little stream where we're discussing the evening's goings on. And if anything breaks, we'll get in on there and let you know what's happening. Thanks, guys. Stay classy. Have a good one. Funny enough, Jamie, I just watched a video about this guy, Project Farm. And anybody ever watched those YouTube channel? The guy compares all the different products. And he compared like all these different fans, the Dyson Airblade one or whatever the fuck it's called, and then all these different fans in terms of the power output, you know, all the different tests that he does on them. And the Dyson turned out to be the shittest, mate. So I hate to burst your bubble there, but it's just a gimmick, man. Nice one, Tim G, David, Brad, Cake, Rogerio, Paula Wayne, and everybody else as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smash that like, smash the subscribe. I'll see you later. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.